Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lenny. There's a new heavyweight in the AI range and it's not from Silicon Valley. So while everyone's been talking about ChatGPT and Gemini, Kimi AI from China has highly been building one of the most powerful models in the world, with a 2 million token context window and surprisingly strong reasoning. So in today's video, we are putting them head to head. I'm going to be testing Kimi, Gemini, and ChatGPT across 3 categories. So reasoning, long document handling, creativity, and tone. And we run the same prompts, analyze the responses, and break down what's type and what actually helps you work smarter. So whether you're a founder, you're a content creator, or you're just curious about AI, this comparison would help you decide which assistant actually deserves your time and possibly your money. Let's get started. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to start with walking you through each of the interface. I do find that on first glance, the interfaces look similar. We have this white screen in here and we same as ChatGPT. So just to let you know, I'm on the free version for all these 3 tools. So I'm on the free version for ChatGPT, same for Kimi, and same for Gemini. I decided to use the free version so that I can actually test how much you can do with just the free version, as I do understand that not everyone wants to be on the paid version. And also, if we decide what actually happens or who does what's best, then you can actually decide on which of these tools you should be paying for. So Kimi AI predominantly is in China. They just recently did a big release, and so those of us in North America and other parts of the world are having the ability to experience some of its functionality. My first impression about Kimi AI is the fact that it has the same interface. So if you go into like ChatGPT, for instance, the interface is similar. If you go into Gemini, the interface is similar. So with Kimi AI, they have like, you just have the chat history, all chats, but then in here you have the ability to either use the mobile app, the about us section, and they have some other settings as well that you can use, which is really this one. If you want to change the beam or you want to change the language and all that, that's really all it is with the interface for Kimi AI. When I do come into ChatGPT, there's more things you can do in ChatGPT. So in ChatGPT, they have like, there's a search functionality, there's a library. As you click on library, you'd see that you can actually like visualize anything in here. So they have the library, they have SOAP, and they have other GPTs that you can use. So for instance, if you are looking for like a custom GPT to do something for you, then they have a whole like database of different GPTs that you can leverage. Also, when you come in here, similar, you can just click on customize ChatGPT and then you'll be able to sort of like change things like your name and all that. To be honest, I'll say that ChatGPT has been there for a while. So they've had a chance to like collect user feedback and also integrate all those feedback into their interface. So in terms of interfaces so far, it looks like ChatGPT has a lot more. Now, when I come into Gemini, if I should expand on this, again, Gemini also had something similar to what ChatGPT has in terms of like other GPTs, and you can also create your own GPTs as well. So I'll say that in terms of interface, Gemini has something similar. Also, you do have the concepts of apps where you could sort of like come in here and also connect other apps as well, which is great because I see ChatGPT sort of like introduce agents, and I'm not saying this is even anywhere in your agents, but the idea that you could sort of like even search for flights, hotels, and everything in Gemini just because you can enable it in here, or you can sort of like commit to the apps in here, I think is actually a game changer. So if I could just commit my Gemini to like my Google Workspace and everything, then right off the bat, I have something similar to what ChatGPT is calling agents, because then I can query my email, my Google Docs, my Google Drive, and that's super cool. Also, I can also connect like my YouTube and everything to Gemini, and that is great. Now, in terms of the other parts of settings, you can see I have like the theme similar to what Kimi has. You can also change the theme to if you want it to be dark, you can do so. I'm just gonna keep it at flight. So that's in a nutshell, that is how the interface looks like. Okay, so like I mentioned, I'm going to be comparing how all these prompts I'm gonna enter into these 3 things would work. So the first prompt I have is a prompt I took from my previous tutorial, which is really a prompt that is supposed to help me organize my tasks. And I have some list of tasks I need to perform. So the first one has to do with, I've got a lot on my plate today and I've given it a number of tasks I have to do, and the idea is to help me under it efficiently. This was my first prompt I used for my last tutorial. I'm going to link the tutorial in this video so that I can go check it out. I did a tutorial on 10 insanely useful ChatGPT prompts that can make your life easier, and this is the first prompt in there. So I'm gonna enter the same prompts in Kimi AI And then I'm going to hit enter, and I'm going to do the same thing for ChatGPT, and we are going to compare the result. What I'm going to be testing is, I just want to know what frameworks they are all going to be using, or if they are going to be using frameworks at all. So let's see what we have in Kimi AI. So Kimi AI, for what I can see in the beginning, it's mentioning the Eisenhower metric, which is fine. Yeah, so let's see what the responses rate yet across borders. So my first impression is like ChatGPT finished this first, without I'm still waiting for Kimi to complete this for me. So I'll just say that it's too early on in the game, but I'll just say that Kimi is a little bit slower than ChatGPT, but then it's still too early because it's still like going through everything, whereas ChatGPT and Gemini are done already. So let's review the results on ChatGPT. But ChatGPT has given me a breakdown of like everything I need to do, and it's saying that it's gonna be using the Eisenhower matrix, which is fine. And then it's going on to give me like a tabular format of this. So in terms of visualization, this is great. And then it's also suggested like in terms of the things I need to do, it's giving me like time estimates, suggested priority order. And then it's also like giving me like a sample schedule. So that's great. That's great. Let's look at Gemini. So Gemini as well use the Eisenhower matrix breakdown. It's sort of giving me an overall understanding of what the matrix is. And then after that, it's sort of giving me like the tasks, categorizing them in terms of what's urgent, what's just important and not urgent. So that's good. And it's also giving me like suggested order, and it's giving me the reasons why this should be the suggested order. And it's also giving me what like my schedule should look like. So to be honest, I like the fact that Gemini breaks down what the Eisenhower matrix really is. But I think ChatGPT, I like the visualization because it's easier for me to like just look at this and know like wide up about what I should be doing. So in terms of the response, Kimi is primarily diamond. To be honest, I'm really impressed right now with the response, because this is again not too easy for me to like absorb, whereas with ChatGPT I have like the tabular format and everything. So for this prompt, in terms of the output, I would prefer ChatGPT to Kimi. Okay, my next go-to would probably be Gemini. Now let's move on to the next one. So the next one has to do with like image generation. And again, I have a prompt which I had prepared earlier for my previous tutorial. All I'm trying to get is like I want to generate an image of a toddler that's like a comedian trying to do comedy on stage. Okay, so this is the exact prompt I'm going to be using, and let's see what I get. I'm going to do the same thing for ChatGPT, and then I'll do the same thing for Gemini. So come in here, enter this, and let's see what we get. With see if Kimi can generate an image. Okay, so it's giving me a link to the image. Well, let's see. Yeah, so we can see that Gemini sort of is first this time around. It was able to quickly generate the image for us. And yes, I mean, I asked her like a confident toddler girl. I gave specifications about her hair being styled in 2 ponytails, and I gave some descriptions about what she's wearing and stuff like that. So this is super cool. I like the fact that Gemini generated this first, and it's actually exactly what I was asking for. Now let's see what ChatGPT does. So ChatGPT is still generating that image, and Kimi AI is done. And while Kimi AI has generated the image, even Nini generate the image in here, I need to click a link to go look at it. I really like the image, to be honest, but then I'll still need to do some additional touches in here. I preferred something that looked a lot more human, and though I didn't really specify that in the description, I was expecting something like that. But in terms of like the description, it's giving me the fact that it's toddler is in shoes, has 2 ponytails and stuff like that, and that's great. Like I said, I'll still have to do some edits. So in that case, if I had to edit this, and if I need to download it, or yeah, I think I'll probably have to download this and attach it and do some edits in the image. So again, in terms of the image generation, I think there's still some work to do. ChatGPT still generated the image and then it errored out. So I will try it out again and see what I get. Okay, so ChatGPT is done finally, and this is the output of the image we got, which is cool. I like it. Looks a lot more realistic than Kimi AI's image, just because of this hanging microphone here. Yeah, so this was great. I love it. So in terms of like image generation, Gemini completed it first, and that's my favorite. I like the image, followed by Kimi. I'll still need to do some additional touches to this image to make it look a lot more realistic. And then I have ChatGPT, which is also great. Now moving on, Kimi AI by itself, in the fact that it's great at document analysis. So I want to really try out, I want to upload a PDF and then ask a few questions and see which of these tools would give me the responses I require. So I'm going to go into Scholar, search.google.com, and I'm just going to look for any PDF article. So I'm just going to say AI in healthcare, for instance, and then let's see what I get. So I have this one in here, applications of artificial intelligence in healthcare. So I'm going to come in here and let's say I'll download a PDF onto my computer and then upload those PDF into each of these tools, and let's see how it's going to work out. Have the PDF in here. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and then I'm going to upload the PDF I got onto this pad. I've uploaded a PDF into 3 of these tools. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to be asking a few questions. Okay. First of all, I'm just going to say summarize the content, the enter PDF. I'm going to use this exact prompt in here. ChatGPT, I'm going to say the same thing. And for Gemini, I'm going to say the same thing. Okay. Okay, so again, ChatGPT completed this task first, and it's giving me summary, like it talks about like the introduction, the application, and the conclusion, which is really what I'm looking for. Gemini was second to complete, and it actually even cited some sources. It doesn't really give me the high level summary like ChatGPT does. ChatGPT just like an introduction, just need like a high level summary, and then goes into the applications and gives a conclusion. But Gemini sort of like just goes into like key applications of AI healthcare and gives a conclusion and gives some sources as well. So this is also cool. Kimi AI finally completed. And yeah, I mean, I like the output as well. Just never memo the person, and also talks about like the key drivers and all that. It gives them more details compared to what a ChatGPT and Gemini gave me. What if I give this instruction? Okay, what are the main points discussed in the PDF? If I should give this to ChatGPT as well, let's see what we get. Let's come in here. Let's see. Yeah. So Kimi AI is giving us this. Okay, so as usual, ChatGPT is complete now, and it's giving me like the main points discussed in the document, which is great. Gemini as well gives me like a shorter version, which is great. This one also gives me a version, which is great. I mean, it took a longer time to generate, but all in all, I like the fact that it gave me some responses. So I really want to test if it's actually going to follow this instruction. Okay, so I'm saying summarize this document in 500 characters. Okay, let's see if it's going to give me the response I need. I'm going to give the same response here, and I'm going to give the same response in here. Okay, so I'm expecting to get a summary of 500 characters, and I'm going to test this. I can see that Gemini is already done. So let's see, ChatGPT should also be complete now, and then Kimi is also done. So I'm going to test this out. Want to see which of these ones actually gave me 500 characters. So let's start with Gemini. So we have this document. Now let's test it out and see if we have 500 characters. Yes, so this is 540 characters. So it really didn't give us equivalent spaces with 469, but I gave us 540 characters. So this isn't really what we wanted. We wanted 500 characters. Let's see what ChatGPT has as well. Let's do a quick word count. Okay, ChatGPT is close to this. And then let's try Kimi AI. All right, so let's count. 241. So again, I'll prefer ChatGPT than Gemini. This is really too small. Okay, it's like I needed something that needs more than 300 or 400 characters. This was just like over 200 characters. So the next one has to do with like summarizing videos. So I want to know if Kimi AI can summarize videos. I'm going to give you this link, and I'm just going to say summarize this YouTube video. So this video is really just a video from my previous tutorial. So let's see how each of them perform. Okay, so I'm looking at a summary here, and this really has nothing to do with a video, to be honest. Like the video was about like 10 ChatGPT prompts that would change a light. Whatever is in here is definitely what's not in the video. So my take is I'm not too sure ChatGPT can actually like summarize content in videos, unless maybe upload a video from. Not too sure about that. I gave it a link, and it really didn't do what I expected it to do. So yeah, even though it gave me some responses, I just think that ChatGPT is made in here because responses go align with what's in the video. Let's look at what Kimi did. Well, Kimi actually did a good job here. It sort of actually was able to do me exactly what's in the video. It's giving me, well, I would say exactly, because it's talked about like the beauty planner, which is exactly what I have in there, email, decision matrix. So it's given me some ideas like what they're having here. So to be honest, Kimi AI did a better job in here because like I do have like prompts for daily planner, email, content, decision making. So it does list out some important key points in the video. For this particular prompt, I think Kimi AI did a better job. So Gemini is still trying to think through what's in this video and it's taking a longer time. I do believe that if I had uploaded a video, then maybe it would have done something better. Like it would probably be able to understand and transcribe the video and everything. So let me just see if I should use this instead. If I should use this particular prompt, like transcribe a video, let me see what I'll get. Okay, let me see if Kimi will do a better job in there. Same for ChatGPT, and for Gemini, I'm probably gonna kill this one and I'm gonna put in this and say, can he transcribe this video? And let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna stop this right here because I did see that it's sort of doing some transcripts, but it's definitely not what's in the video. This is more what I said in the video, so it's hallucinating a bit. In ChatGPT, it sort of has given me the specs to download the transcripts that I need from YouTube. That's fine. Gemini is still like thinking through it. So none of these models are able to transcribe content of a video from just the link. I do believe that if I had uploaded a video, then it will be able to transcribe it for me. Now I'm gonna give all these 3 models some data sets in Excel and I'm gonna see how well they perform. So in order to do so, I'm gonna use this exact thing. So Google has a free research platform. So I'm gonna say AI in healthcare. Let me see what data sets I have. So if I come in here, some of the data sets might not be free and would have to pay for it. So I would want something I don't have to pay for. So let's see. Let me just do AI. Okay, so I have the data sets here. So I'm going to be using this exact prompt to sort of understand what's in the data set I have uploaded. So let's see what we get from all 3 tools as well. ChatGPT is able to give me some details about what's in the data set, which is great. It's giving me the fact that there are 48 student responses and it's giving me key data field, performance data, and it's asking that, do I need a data visualization? So if I should say maybe build a heat map correlation, if I should give it this exact prompt, let's see what we get. Now coming into Kimi AI also talks about the fact that 60 students submitted survey entries. Okay, so I'm getting like contradicting responses from each of these tools. So ChatGPT said 48 students responded. Kimi AI said 60 students responded. We would look at how many students responded just a moment. Gemini, we did not do a good job for me, to be honest, but it's actually giving me some details about what's actually in the data set. So Gemini said it's 48 entries. Gemini and ChatGPT are on the same page, but then Kimi AI is sort of like giving me something different. I'm gonna open this exact document so that you can see what inside it. Also, when I asked for a heat map, then we asked for a heat map in here. So ChatGPT was able to build a heat map for me. Kimi AI is giving me some code, which I need to run in Jupyter Notebook. Gemini is still thinking. So let's just check how many lines we actually have in this document. Okay, let's just check. Okay, so Gemini has also built a heat map similar to what ChatGPT gave me. Kimi has given me some code to run in Jupyter Notebook. So to be honest, if I'm not a programmer, I wouldn't be able to know what Jupyter Notebook is. I expected to see it in here, but it's just giving me an Python code. So this isn't really what I was expecting. Gemini and ChatGPT sort of like milled it again this time around. Finally, let's talk about pricing. I know this seems to be like a long video, but let's talk about pricing. So for ChatGPT, you could upgrade your plan and there's a free version and it was just easy to navigate to pricing. Like you wanted the Plaza, you have to pay $20 a month or you pay $200 a month for the full version. So we did everything we did today on the free version and it was still good. We were still able to generate our image, analyze documents and all that. So if you need to definitely get the Plaza version, you can do so. But if you don't need to, then you don't need to. Kimi AI, I tried to look for pricing, but I didn't really find pricing. Okay, so I don't know if we get it free forever, or I don't know that you pay to use the APIs. I know there's pricing for that, but I was expecting to just see the pricing in the interface if ever we had to pay for it, or if it's free. I just wanted to know. And then Gemini as well, if you click on upgrade, you'll be able to see that the pricing is in here. You can basically upgrade for $26 a month. And when you upgrade for this, you also get access to like the AI filmmaking tools. You also get access to Build 3 and all that. So I would say that for what it's worth, Gemini gives you more for the subscription, but you have access to other tools and not just the chat interface, which is great. Overall, I'd be saying that there's a lot of work that needs to go into Kimi for it to sort of like compare with Gemini and ChatGPT. The reason why I say this is that, first of all, I think it's quite slow compared to ChatGPT and Gemini. Secondly, I also do think that it does a bit of hallucination and it doesn't tell you it's hallucinating. And also in terms of like the query responses, to be fair, like some of the responses, you need to be technical to be able to follow through it, what the response looks like. Example is this particular response here. But then I think that if you are just using it for like basic stuff, then you are fine. You should be good. That if you want to do something more than basic stuff, then you probably would need to use ChatGPT or Gemini. I do know that this is going to be in phases, and I know that they're going to sort of like improve upon it. So I'll say that, yeah. So I think that there's a bit of hype, but it's also good. I think that if you're a researcher or you're an analyst or you're a developer and you work with, let's say, long documents, you need consistency, maybe it's worth trying it. It doesn't yet beat ChatGPT for all. It doesn't beat Gemini, but it's close, and sometimes it may give you like better output than the others. But then I'll just say that there's a long way ahead. Try it out. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments section below. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what other tutorials you'd like to see in my next video. That is it for today's tutorial. See you in the next one.